everybody. I'm going to rearrange some things because that's what moms do. They like it to match their head so that nobody else knows what they're doing. So, I just turned 50 last year. Well, that's more applause than I gave it, but thank you. I have two kids. I have an 11 and a 14-year-old. You don't have to do the math because all you need to know is that my first pregnancy I was of advanced maternal age. But on the second one, they didn't really give a shit and they just called me a geriatric pregnancy. It was super flattering. Anyway, kids are weird, right? They're like super weird. And mine in particular, I have two middle schoolers. So I've got a sixth grader and an 8th grader. And the 6th grader is like, she's still trying to prove herself. She hasn't figured out how she's gonna drive me crazy. But the 8th grader, he's starting to get it. Like, I'm kind of super proud. Yeah, so like, I don't know if he's trying on different personalities or what's happening, but he will, he'll walk in the door and I'll be like, hey, are you gonna do your homework? He's like, no, bruh. Like, I don't know, maybe are you gonna do it? He's like, yeah, bruh. It's like, cool, I guess you're Keanu today. I don't really know. And then we'll be at the dinner table, and he'll be like, hey, can you pass the ketchup, big dog? I'm like, okay. Oh, sure, I guess we're using our prison names. That's great. And then I went to parent-teacher conferences the other day, and he had lots to say, as you can imagine. And then he says, this weird thing is happening. Like these boys in class, they're meowing in class, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? So I went home, and I was like, what's the deal with the meowing? And my son looks at me right in the eyes, and he goes, meow. Like, walks up the stairs. I mean, that's the one I did not drink during the pregnancy. Anyway, kids are weird, and it's awkward to be a middle schooler, right? It's awkward for the middle schoolers, and it is awkward for the parents. And you can find yourself in all kinds of situations, parents, y'all know if you've been there. You could find yourself, for instance, like, apologizing to someone's parents because your kid showed their kid porn that may or may not have been yours. Look, for the record, it was not my kid. My kid wouldn't do that. My kid's great and also has the internet. He doesn't have to find mine. That was me. I found the porn when I was 12. And so let me tell you that story. Now there will be some older references here. I'll try to translate as much as I can. When I was growing up, we had a bookshelf, a built-in bookshelf next to the TV filled with VCR tapes. VCR tapes are a plastic box that you put in a machine to play movies. And you have to rewind it in order to return it to the movie store without a fee. Okay. Moving on. Now, in my defense, the movies were on the top shelf. That's not really stealthily hidden, right? There were movies here, 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 and all the way up here. Where do kids want to go see? They want to go see those, right? Now let me be clear. Okay. They were not porn names. I didn't say Romancing the Bone, or Forrest Hump, or, I don't know, like Star Whore. It didn't say those things, right? It didn't say that. But you knew that it was probably at least an R movie, and we wanted to check it out. So I had a friend over, my most Catholic friend over. I was thinking it through. And I invited her over, I was like, hey, you want to watch a movie? And she was like, sure. I said, okay, pick one out in the bookshelf. So she looks down, she looks all the way up, and she was like, right there. And I was like, cool, okay. That felt a little sneaky, actually, because they were like our movies. Okay, so I pick it up, and it's Officer and a Gentleman. Now, I know Officer and Gentleman almost sounds like a porn, but it wasn't. It was Richard Gere and Deborah Winger, and he was an officer, and through a relationship, he became a gentleman. Exactly. So we put the movie in, and there was no officer, nor no gentleman. But there was a pizza guy. See, I knew they would do that. And a naked woman. And she brought the pizza guy inside, and they did everything except eat pizza. So we're watching, and it goes on, and we're like, no way. And then it keeps going and we're like, ew. And then we saw it and we were like, oh, that's what that is. I think we watched it about 10 minutes and then we're like, okay, we're good. Put it back, oh sorry, we rewound it back to the place where it was already marked so that nobody knew that we watched it. We put it back there. And then we went on with our day. Well, the next day, we went to school. And in school, we were passing notes. And in those notes, we talked about all the things that were in the movie. Because we had to tell all our friends, obviously. Now, the thing about note passing, it's like Snapchat, only when you throw them out, they don't disappear. So my most Catholic friend's mom found the notes that she brought home and put on her desk, of course, because we don't hide things well. And she heard all about the middle school descriptions of of what the adventures of the pizza guy and the naked lady. And she was not pleased. She called me, or actually my friend called me and said, my mom heard all about the movie, and guess what? She said that if you don't tell your dad, she's going to. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's a Sophie's choice if I've ever heard one. All right, and I decided, I weighed the pros and cons, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna go down there. I went down, and there he is doing bills. And I was like, that's not ideal. So I go down and I'm like, all right. And I got really cool, because you gotta be cool and nonchalant when you start to spill out the whole adventure. And I think all he heard as I was talking, because I think I was talking really, really fast, and all he heard was, friend, dirty movies, yours. And then I saw his head drop and the pencil drop. And I knew I had broken him. And now I'm just waiting to figure out how my kids are gonna break me. A little PS to that story. A week later, I asked my friend if she could have plans. And she's on the phone. I don't know why I do this, but this is how I think she talked. My mom said that if you don't go to confession with me at my church, we can't have plans anymore. And I was like, I was not Catholic, for the record. I had never been to confession. So, I've just never seen that girl for the next 40 years. Thank you so much.